I'm Sharon with Orange County Library System. We're at the Washington Park branch in Orlando, Florida, capturing memories from our community. Today is February 18th, 2012. Could you please tell us your name and where you're from?
Hi, my name is Grace Chappell. I'm originally from Georgetown, Guyana, South America, so I have two nationalities. I'm born and raised Guyanese and naturalized citizen of America.
Oh, that's great. What are you most proud of from your life here in the Washington Shores community?
Well, I'm mostly proud of the work I've done locally in the community, specifically on the block on which I live, as well as the work I've done nationally in the prisons that I've served as prison chaplain. The work I've done specifically in my community, which is South Lake Man Shores, and it's 2 minutes from this Washington Shores Library branch. And the work I've done here was the establishment of mailboxes. This is a very old community. It's about 86 years old. It was established in 1926, and so it's about 86 years old. But for a good 76 years, this community has lived without mailboxes on both sides of the street. As a matter of fact, only one side of the street had mailboxes for residents living in Lake Man Shore area. And what I did when I moved into the area about 11 years ago was went pro mailbox establishment. I wrote the postmaster of this local community and requested that mail is delivered on my side of the street. And they said that because it hadn't been this way for 70-something years, it can't be done, and it would have to change the routing for mail carriers. And I went from door to door, get neighbors to sign the petition for mailboxes to be planted on our side of the street, and we succeeded. Actually, I rolled up my sleeves and helped planted quite a few mailboxes on my side of the street, which is Raleigh Street. And I did that because the majority of residents on my side of the street are elderly people, and they can't dig dirt and plant mailboxes, such strenuous work. So I contributed to the establishment of mailboxes. Now we do not have to cross the street to get our mail. So that was one of the most memorable memories of my community. Mm-hmm.
Well, what else have you done? You mentioned that you work for the prison system and you did something with music and church ministry.
Yes, actually, yes. I'm very happy to talk about the prison ministry. Actually, after I've done work in the local community with Lake Man Shores, I ventured off into the Work Release Center, working with inmates who are on good behavior, good conduct, and are placed in the custody of the Work Release Center, which allowed them to earn an income while still incarcerated. And these well-behaved inmates were allowed to wear civilian clothes. So I created the first prison ministry that my church has ever seen, St. Mark African Methodist Episcopal Church. And I spearheaded it, where I would transport those work release inmates to church and created a support system for them so that when they got out of prison, they have a social network within the community of Ivy Lane and Pine Hills and where we are right now in Bruton Boulevard and Washington Shores, where they can come and connect and fellowship and stay out of trouble,
Yes. What time frame was this? When did this happen?
This was about 6.5 years ago, where I entered into the prison ministry. And when I entered into the prison ministry, I first worked with the work release men at Bridges of America. And this is a picture of the work release men, myself and another minister who spearheaded this mission of transporting inmates to church. And after working with Bridges of America, I went on with the Florida State Department of Corrections to serve as a prison chaplain. And this is what I looked like as a prison chaplain. And there I had a wonderful privilege to work with the females who are incarcerated at Lowell Correctional Institution, where there are over 2,000 women incarcerated and quite a few are on death row. And this is just a picture of a few of the females who I worked with. I taught faith-based matters as well as formation of character and deal with issues some women have problems with, so that they will be better prepared to return to society as law-abiding citizens in good behavior and ready to do a work that promotes safety in the community. In addition to working with the women, I had a wonderful privilege of formulating the men's choir at another prison called Pope Correctional Institution, and there I also cultivated a 30-man choir. And again, my grounds for teaching were faith-based plus character formation, which equals to success. Not only was I able to usher these inmates into a faith-based relationship, but a character formation that would instill honesty, integrity, some things that industries are looking for in ex-offenders. If they're going to hire them, they need to know that they're honest and trustworthy. And those are the character traits that I worked on instilling in my term as chaplain with Florida State Department of Corrections. Yes.
Oh, that's great. You mentioned something about yourself, and you served in the branch of the military. Can you tell us a little bit about that experience?
Oh, yes. Actually, I obtained citizenship in New York City, where I became officially a naturalized citizen, and thought that I should do something very patriotic. So I joined the United States Navy and served for 5 years. I was immediately sent to war. Desert Storm Persian Gulf War at the time was taking place, and I was a part of the Desert Storm operation. And I was on board the USS Yellowstone, the ship that was a female and male ship as well, but it was responsible for supplying oil and uniforms to other ships that are on the front line fighting the battle. So a destroyer tender is the type of a ship that I was on board. So once my military tenure was over, I received an honorable discharge with medals and ribbons, and my experience was an awesome, very fulfilling experience. I've benefited quite a great deal. Every job I applied for after military service, I checked off military preference, and that helped me to get in the seat much sooner than someone who didn't serve in the military, in addition to my education as well. Yes.